welcome to the Deaf Kid Show. Let's go!
Hey! All right! Welcome to the GK Show! Fun music at the beginning, yeah! Hope you're having a good day. Let's start the pod. What's up, everybody? I'm going to try and get this podcast out. My son is sleeping on the couch. Just dropped my daughter off for her first day at preschool. Needless to say, I am getting this podcast up a little late because I had to have myself a nice cry. I am a crier. I think I cry more than normal people. I wonder, I'm going to look at this up actually. I should have looked it up before. On average, how often do people cry, adults? And I'm sure it's different for men and women. I'm sure it's different culture to culture. I am willing to bet, and I will get back to you on this, that I am on the high end. I'm not at the top of that bell curve. I'm at the right side. I cry too often. I'm a crier, very emotional. All right, please, if you haven't yet, please just rate this podcast 5 stars and review it if you want. If you haven't yet, I appreciate it. So yeah, my daughter is just so pumped about school. I remember that there's a video of me being dropped off at preschool, and my mom dressed me up as Superman with a cape and everything. And there's this video. Obviously, it was one of those big old not handy cam, those big camcorder things you put on your shoulder like a boombox, from the 80s. And so there's this footage of me, and my parents dropped me off, and then I'm just on a playground. I'm the only kid dressed up, and I'm dressed like freaking Superman. And I just remember me walking up to a couple different groups of kids, and they're like, nope. And I'm like, all right. Walk over to some other kids, they're like, nah. And then I just go up to the chain link fence, put my hands on it, and just stare out into the parking lot with my Superman outfit on, full cape and everything. So that was my first day of preschool, as far as I know. And my daughter just pumped, dude. She's just all excited. She's all happy. We're walking her in, and she's like, "This is my school, Daddy." She's telling me it's her school. She's like, "I have so many friends here," and all this stuff, because she's gone a couple days throughout the summer. Anyways, I don't think anyone really cares, but it is so sad. I wish there was a way to just stop time. And I think, a lot of people know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I've just never been happier than when my daughter tells me something cute, or tells me she loves me, or she's happy, or my son laughs and stuff. Just I just want to freeze those moments. I want to freeze that, and then just make a whole bunch of that, so I can just inject myself with all that happiness whenever I want, and other people. I just like to inject the whole world with syringes of the happiness I feel from my kids. It's so funny. People that don't have kids are just like, it's so good. We get it. You have kids. But people with kids, they get it. And I was one of those people without kids. I'm like, man, people are really obsessed with their kids. And then you have kids, and you're like, oh, I get it. I've never had more happiness in my life ever. So let's see if I can crank this out before the little man wakes up. He's sleeping pretty soundly on the couch. I guess that means he's not going to take his nap later, which means I'm kind of screwed the rest of the day. But let's see what's in the news. The newsies. Jeffrey Epstein, that guy, super rich, famous, pedophile peddler to the stars, or to the powerful elite people in the world. Just such a weird situation, such a shady thing. This guy, if anyone doesn't know, has a island in St. Thomas that he owns, and it's nicknamed Pedophile Island by all the locals. So all the locals are just kind of like, yeah, that's what goes on there. Bill Clinton took 27 flights, I think, on his private jet, which was was it called the Lolita Express, or was that just the nickname for it? I think that had to be the nickname for it, because just to call it the Lolita Express is pretty in your face. And I think Hillary Clinton flew on it a number of times. I think Trump supposedly flew on it once, and whatever. So it's just so weird, because Democrats and Republicans, left and right, people can't agree on anything. People on the left are like, oh, Trump had this guy killed. And people on the right are like, the Clintons, man. The Clintons had this guy killed. It's like, whoa, man. That's the one thing everybody agrees on is this guy probably did not commit suicide, like they're saying. It's a very strange story. Apparently the guy was on suicide watch and in his prison cell. And then, I don't know if they took him off suicide watch and then he killed himself, or supposedly killed himself or died, whatever, he's gone now. And just very shady. And it's like everybody on every end of the spectrum is like, this guy did not kill himself. This guy was murdered. So just scary, right? That's one of those things too. A lot of people kind of, say, oh, conspiracies, conspiracy theorists, like whatever. And I'm not somebody that believes in every conspiracy that's out there or anything, but I have heard some people argue, oh, these conspiracies, you hear about these conspiracies, they're not true. How could so many people be involved in covering something up? And I have a very simple answer for that. You get people with families involved. If you threaten my family, like the government right now, or some NSA person or CIA person just like tapped into my headphones right now and they're like, hey, stop talking about this second or we're going to kill your family. Guess what, guys? This podcast is not released. You can, and also that's one thing, just threatening people, right? Power, like super powerful elite people can just threaten families or whatever. Forget your own life. You know what I mean? If I was like single guy, had no family, had no parents, had no whatever, no kids, no wife, and someone was like, hey, you blow the whistle on this and then you're dead, I might be like, hey, my life's worth sacrificing to get this important information about X, Y, and Z out. But if I have family and kids, it's like, nah, I'm not saying anything. You got it, dude. Whoever you are, like, you got it. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that a lot of things are just need to know. You know what I mean? So if you keep almost everybody in the dark about something, but everyone's just serving one specific purpose, you know what I mean? Like, you ever see those, I know I'm going to reference a movie now, which is obviously not real, but you ever seen those movies where it's somebody goes, hey, some kid runs over something and hands it to somebody, or somebody runs over something and hands it to somebody, and they're like, are you involved? They're like, hey, I don't know what's going on here. That guy, somebody just gave me $100 to hand you that, right? That's my whole point, like need to know basis. That person, that kid or whatever, in that specific situation I'm talking about, they don't know. Like, they're involved in this process of this bigger thing, but all they know is, oh, somebody gave me $100 and I'm supposed to hand this envelope to that person over there. And they don't know anything else. They legitimately don't know anything else, so they're in the dark. So you can have a bunch of people involved in a conspiracy, but they don't all know necessarily they are involved in a conspiracy. They might think they're just doing this thing because this is part of their job and it's just this one little thing, or they might be going, oh, I'm doing this because of this, but really they're doing it because of that. Like, they don't know why they're doing it and they'll never know. So, okay, there we go. Those are my two very quick ways to explain how conspiracies can be real things. Oh, all right. So let's see. Let's just get into some quick, fun, little odd news stories, and then my son will probably wake up during this anyways. So let's do this one first. Man credits good deed with leading him to a $349,027 lottery jackpot. All right, let's see what this good deed is. Was that a plane going on overhead? I'm not editing that out. Too much work. A North Carolina man credited a good deed with leading him down the path to winning $349,027 lottery jackpot. Thomas Fry of Charlotte told North Carolina education lottery officials he needed to get rid of an old bed frame and decided to donate it to the Salvation Army instead of selling it or throwing it away. Okay, like this is going in an interesting way. Fry said he decided to stop at the Adams Martin Matthews on his way home and bought a cash 5 ticket. I always use a combination of my own numbers and a quick pick, Fry said, but this time I decided to use all quick pick. Realizing I'm an unlucky fuck and nothing ever good was going to happen with my stupid lucky numbers, I just went with quick pick. Fry said he checked his numbers the next morning, was shocked to see he had won $349,027 top prize. I just kept looking at the tickets, Fry said. I had to check the numbers at least 3 times. Oh, I agree. If you won $350,000, that would just be an unbelievable morning, right? You're like, nah, this can't be true. Not me. I would keep looking at it too. I'd be okay. I'd get other people in the room. You read them out loud and I'm going to stare at it. Go. What are the winning numbers? Okay, 17. There is 17. Go. Next one. 28. I do. Yes, 28. So I would just go like that. I just kept looking at the tickets, Fry said. Oh, I just read that. Fry said his winnings will go into savings. Boring. Come on, dude. You're supposed to buy a $350,000 car and then be poor in 6 months. That's how lottery winners are supposed to work. This is a big boost to our retirement, Fry said. It's amazing to have this. I feel so blessed. Yeah, that is awesome, dude. You just got a random 350 grandies. All right. Next story. Australian athlete spends 2 hours in box of ice to break the Guinness record. I have a couple Guinness record stories. I just can't get over these. They're always great. So an Australian athlete spends 2 hours in box of ice to break the Guinness record. Okay. An Austrian, did I say Australian? An Austrian athlete broke a Guinness World Record when he spent more than 2 hours wearing nothing but a swimsuit in a box of ice. I would do it naked, bro. Josef Kerbel spent a total 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 47 seconds submerged up to his shoulders in a box of ice in front of Vienna's main train station Saturday to break the record of 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 10 seconds set by Chinese athlete Jin Songzhao in 2014. So one guy did it for 1 hour, 53, and 10 seconds. This guy did 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 47 seconds. He obliterated that record. I wonder if when he got to 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 11 seconds, like, you got it. And he's like, I keep going. Jin Songzhao had nothing on me. Coberls, I don't know how to say this guy's name. Koeberl. Coberl's body temperature was monitored during the attempt, and he was examined by a medical team after emerging from the ice to ensure his health was not adversely affected. The athlete said he was inspired to go for the record after he spent an hour in a box of ice as part of a challenge on Austrian TV's Barbara Karlik show. What? They're just like throwing things out there, not telling us anything else. Yeah, just randomly, this guy has already been in a box of ice on a TV show, so he thought, oh, why don't I go for a record? Kerbel said he believed he could have spent more time in the ice Saturday, but decided to emerge after confirming that the record was broken. I would have drank a ton of water before I went in. This might be bad for, medical reasons. I don't know. That way you could just keep peeing, right? And it just kind of like heats you up. I feel like that'd be good. I wonder if that's allowed. You know what I mean? Can you just pee? Can you just piss yourself while you're in the box of ice? Or they're like, hey man, not cool. That's breaking the sit in a box of ice rules. Why? Where does it say that? Where does it say I can't pee? Can't pee, dude. Can you pee? You can? You can pee. Go ahead. So, good for this guy. I want to look up this Austrian TV show, Barbara Karlik show, and see this guy. What's his name? Josef Kerbel. Jeez, this guy spends a lot of time on ice. Man, I've spent more time on ice with the wife. What if I just never stopped that laugh? All right. Maine police officers rescue skunk with head stuck in McFlurry cup. All I want to know is which flavor. You know what I mean? That's all I'm thinking. A pair of Maine police officers came to the rescue of a skunk by, quote, tactically removing an ice cream cup stuck on the small creature's head. The Bridgeton Police Department said officers Sophie Swiatek and Josh Muse aided the skunk Sunday morning by tactically removing a McFlurry cup stuck on its head. They already said that. A video shared by the police department shows the officers throwing a jacket over the skunk to prevent it from running away or spraying them with its foul scent. Swiatek then plucks the ice cream cup from the animal's head. Quote, yes, they train us for this at the police academy, and yes, our McDonald's ice cream machine works, the department wrote. Quote, please don't litter. What? How is this even a story? A skunk put his head in a McFlurry cup, and then all they did was take it off. It sounds like all they did was pop it off. They put a jacket over the skunk so they didn't get sprayed, and they just ripped a cup off his head, and that's in the news. Yet this show can't get any press. All right. Another Guinness World Record. Idaho man sets Guinness record for juggling basketballs. This story's going to stink. An Idaho man completed 220 catches in 1 minute while juggling 3 NBA regulation basketballs to break a Guinness World Record. David Rush, who has more than 100 Guinness World Record titles to his name, made 2 official attempts at the basketball juggling record at the Lake Hazel Library in Boise. I feel like people with Guinness World Records have multiple records. There's probably here and there, somebody's like, oh, you got, the longest kiss or something, and, it was random. Maybe it was like on TV or something like that, and then so you get a record. But I feel like most people are just going for records. Jeez, this is talented. The guy juggled the balls really fast. 220 catches in 1 minute. Who counted that? Did they have to watch I'd have to watch a tape, right? And just slow it down. All right, anyways, this guy has over 100 records. Rush, whose record-breaking activities are aimed at promoting STEM education, fell short of the minimum goal set by Guinness, 200 catches, during his first attempt. His second attempt ended with 220 catches, earning him the record. He said the basketball record is the first in a planned series of fast juggling world record attempts. Man, that's insane. I know a lot of really talented jugglers from working at the Comedy Magic Club in Hermosa Beach. Sometimes the magic, it's not always magic, sometimes it's just a variety act. And there are some insane jugglers. And I know another guy who I'd never worked with at Comedy Magic Club. I worked with elsewhere, and I think he was, did he tell me he was like 4th ranked in the world at one point? That's such an interesting world to get into, juggling, and then you're ranked. Who ranks the jugglers? You know what I mean? There's so many talented jugglers. So there's like a competition. I'm guessing you have to submit. You get in, and there's like a panel of like ex-jugglers. Like, I used to juggle, and I retired from juggling when I was 62. Like, I don't even get how that works. And now I just judge juggling. I was talking to my wife this morning when I was in the shower. She did not think this was as interesting as me. Freestyle rapping, that's a job. Here we go, tangent time. There are people who just make a living freestyle rap battling. That's so interesting. I can't imagine if my son came up to me one day and I'm like, hey man, so what do you think? He's like, I'm gonna drop out of school because I am just crushing these ciphers on the playground and I want to be a freestyle rap battler. And I'll be like, you gotta get an education. What are you talking about? His comedian dad telling him he can't do that. Jeez. Can you imagine that? Freestyle rap battling, you're just that good at it. What do you prepare? All you have to do is get into the battles, right? I mean, I say it like that's easy. That's probably the toughest part, right? It's like comedy. Like, good, you're funny. You gotta get exposure. You gotta get your name out there. But I mean, as far as just showing up to work, hey, I'm just gonna show up. I'm gonna put on my oversized hoodie, and I'm gonna go straight off the dome. You know what I mean? Straight off the top for my job. And then someone's gonna pay me either $500 if I win, $300 if I lose. I don't know how it works. I'm making up these numbers. But that's such an interesting thing. Because you meet people, they could have any job. I see the way people react when they first met me. And, so what do you do? And I'm like, I'm a comedian. It's always like, yeah, well, I'm funny. Like, what, do you do that? Like, what's your other job? It's like, that's my job. I'm a comedian. Oh, really? Have you ever thought about being on The Tonight Show? You get all these weird questions and stuff, and reactions. Can you imagine if you just meet somebody and you're like, oh, hey, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm a plumber. Cool. And then you meet somebody else. Hey, what do you do? Freestyle rap battler? Really? Like, I feel like I would have the same questions people ask me. I'm like, so what's your other, do you have another job? Do you also, you're like an electrician, but you also freestyle rap battle? And the guy's like, nah, dude, I just freestyle rap battle. That'd be cool, because I feel like that'd be annoying too. You know what I mean? People always tell comedians, like, tell me a joke, dude. If you're a comedian, tell me a joke. What if you met a freestyle rap battler and you're like, no way, man, do some freestyle, and then they just ripped you a new one? They're like, oh, I'm standing here talking to this clown. I'm about to pull his pants down, show everybody his little dick. Oh my God, that thing is crooked. It makes me sick. Like, it just starts fucking killing you. What if that's a real thing? I hope it is. I might have no idea what I'm talking about. All right, let's just do a couple more stories before my son wakes up. Scientists create drinkable vodka from Chernobyl water grain. Okay, so that's an interesting thing to do with your life. A group of scientists announced they had created vodka from ingredients found inside the Chernobyl exclusion zone and verified that it is safe to drink. Atomic vodka was created by University of Portsmouth scientists from grain and water from inside the exclusion zone as part of a 3-year research project into the radioactivity of crops grown inside the 19-mile radius around the Chernobyl nuclear plant, which experienced a reactor explosion in 1986. So they said it's safe to drink. Who tried it? Hey, who wants to try our Chernobyl water vodka? Is it safe? Well, that's the thing. We are trying to figure that out now. Just try it, man. Just try some Chernobyl water vodka. We made it from the water from Chernobyl, the radioactive explosion from the 80s. You know, it's cool. Just try the vodka, man. Don't be a wuss. So here we go. Quote, 30 years on after the accident, we found... Why can't I read right now? 30 years on after the accident, we found was that in the area, the crops were slightly above the very cautious Ukrainian limit for consumption. That sentence, is that me, or does that sentence make no sense? So technically, you can't eat those crops, but we thought, well, we've got some grain. Why don't we try making a vodka? Project leader Jim Smith told CNN. Smith's team found distilling the vodka reduced the radioactive contamination to an undetectable level, making it safe to drink. Quote, when you distill something, lots of impurities stay in the waste product, and the final product is more pure. And that's what we found with our vodka. We fermented the grain, then distilled it. We found that we couldn't measure any radioactivity in the product except natural carbon-14 that you find in any spirit drinks or any food, Smith said. He said the newly founded Chernobyl Spirit Company will soon be selling atomic vodka with 75% of profits going to communities affected by the disaster. The vodka will be the first consumer product from the exclusion zone since the disaster. Very interesting. So I was about to look up how much does it cost, but it says it's not really for sale yet. I still like the idea of that. Yeah, I also... I made some toilet water vodka. It's water made from my toilet water. It's cool though. We distilled it. I took a dump in my toilet. I distilled the water and made vodka. It's cool. Just drink it. I swear. All right. Next story. Texas woman records giant spider eating a bat. All right. I just watched this video, so I'll just talk about it. Enormous, huge garden spider just eating a bat. This lady was coming home from work and saw it outside her house. Unreal. This spider is enormous. That is so scary. What is it about spiders? I'm walking my dog sometimes, you know what I mean? And you don't realize, you're like, oh my God, I almost walked into a spider web, and your whole body, at least I'm like, oh, I'm so happy that didn't happen. Anything but that. What is it about spiders that just freak us out? So many spiders are not even harmful to humans or anything, but just the look of them. Why do we hate them so much? Like, everyone talks about, like, oh, all lives are sacred and everything, and planet, talk about animals and stuff. Do you see a spider in your house? You will take a gun and shoot that thing. Especially this big-ass spider. If that spider just walking around my house and everyone's like, oh, it's actually just a huge garden spider, don't even worry about it. I just don't like the way it looks. I don't like the way it moves. I'm murdering that spider. I'm taking that spider out. And then I'm looking for its spider family. I know this sounds horrible, but this is how it is. All right. Then I clicked on some clickbait article about pictures of Woodstock. I think the clickbait thing said that, like, you won't believe or something, and it's just all these pictures look like, those look like all the pictures I've ever seen from Woodstock. I will say this though, I'm clicking through some of them. I got on to like the third or fourth, and they're just talking about the flower headdress that people would wear, and this picture, not a professional like photo, not definitely not a camera from nowadays or anything. This girl is stunning, right? And then there's just this dorky looking dude behind her playing what looks like, I don't know if that's a banjo or a sitar. It looks like a banjo. Yeah, it's not a sitar, it's a banjo, I think. But and he's just looking at her all creepy, and she looks like a high-end model. Like, she just looks like a supermodel. This girl is just physically her face is just like very pretty, right? And this is what I was thinking. Is it just me? I wasn't alive back then. I feel like in the 60s, a lot of average dudes just hooked up with super hot chicks. Is that a thing? Is that just in my head? I just feel like, just from pictures, I feel like this guy is behind her. He looks kind of creepy in the picture. But I'm also thinking that might be her boyfriend. Like, that dude might be her boyfriend. I feel like back then it was just like, hey, I'm all about peace and love. And she's like, oh, me too. Yeah, no judgment, right? Like, let's just not judge that I look like a nerd. And she's like, totally, yeah, like, let's empower you. Let's just do it. I don't know. I obviously was born way after this and never lived through it, but that'd be a fun time to just travel back to. My mom was a hippie. She smoked the reefer. And then she lied about it to me until I was an adult. Anyways, I just think that's a thing. I also think it'd be interesting because everybody builds up Woodstock like, oh, this is like the craziest, like the best concert ever. You had to be there. I would just like to meet one person who was like, I was at Woodstock. It was all right. It's cool, It's probably like the fourth best concert I ever went to. I went to some other concerts. Saw Springsteen at the Garden once. That was sweet. But Woodstock, it was all right. Okay, guys, I am finishing up my website for my children's book that should be out soon, as soon as possible. It's supposed to be the beginning of June. I've been going back and forth with the illustrator, trying to get everything correct. But I am super, super, super pumped about this book. I really hope that people like it. It's one of those things, like a passion project, really means a lot to me. So It is going to be, the book is called Different, and the website will be thedifferentbook.com. I already bought it, started building the website. I'm obviously stink at things like that, but I'm working on it. So please make sure and just rate this podcast 5 stars. Grab the person's phone next to you, just click 5 stars. I don't care how it gets done, you know what I mean? If you want to leave a review, that'd be awesome. All right, check the show notes if you want to email me. Check out my social media and all that stuff. It's at Jeff Keith, GeoffKeith. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you for listening to my daddy.